There is a wealth gap in America, and that wealth gap is caused by real estate. The disparities in the laws that have given some a head start and others a way to try to catch up, but because of appreciation, it's hard to catch up, or so you thought. Our next guest is going to teach you how that regardless of your circumstance, regardless of where you come from, regardless of your background, that you can enter the real estate game and still build wealth at the same time. Let's get it. Hey, wait. I know you want to watch this next video, but listen, if you are an entrepreneur, business coach, business consultant, or a small business owner who has a story and wants to learn how to create multiple streams of income from your story, I need you to text me right now, my book, to 646-687-4152. That is my personal number. I have been an author for over 12 years. I've written 10 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers, and I've sold over 100,000 books. But I've also helped a lot of my clients take their expertise and put it into a story, then create multiple streams of income from that. So I want to help you do the same thing. So text my book to 646-687-4152. All right, let's go back to the video.
Pay attention and listen, we about to teach class. Inside the vault, my man Ash Cash. So get your man right. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. You see him, we change your life. Millionaire mindset, the best on earth. Blueprint, the wealth, the knowledge network. So get it while you can, and he's standing right here. Just come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.
All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet, where we are teaching you how to live in abundance spiritually, practically. We'll help you get your business from 5 to 6 to 7 figures. We want to help you live your best life so you can live in abundance. When I tell you that the guest that we have today has a powerful story, he's going to change your whole entire life, right? You know, a lot of people believe that because of their background, because of where they come from, because of their circumstance, that they cannot create wealth, that they have started in behind, and it's going to be impossible for them to catch up. Well, this young man is not even 30 yet, and he is a multi-millionaire, and he even got kicked out of college, y'all. Listen, I got the man, the myth, the legend. Mr. Derek Boone is in the building, man. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
Oh, man, I'm doing great, man. And I'm glad that you're here to be like a walking demonstration, right? Like, I have this saying that we are all greatness on display, right? Regardless of what you believe in, we are all made in the image and likeness of the Most High, right? And being made in the image and likeness, that means we are that. And so greatness on display is God, right? We're made in that image. And a lot of times, because people don't tap into that, they don't tap into who they are, they allow the excuses to be who they are. And when I say that you are greatness on display, you are somebody that has been able to defy a lot of odds. To become a multi-millionaire in your 20s is something that is, not even like people. I know people in their 70s who haven't amassed $1 million yet, right? And so to do it at such a young age, and then to also have barriers against you, it is an honor to be here. And so I'm so ready for all the game you about to drop, because you about to change some lives right now. But for those who don't know, who is Derek Boone?
So first and foremost, I want to say I just appreciate you for having this platform, and then second, allowing me to be a part of it, because I feel like, so I believe in having 6 and 7, 8-figure conversations every day. Yeah. And as you know, you and I have those conversations between us and other individuals, but a lot of people don't have those conversations or know what they even sound like. So having a platform like this allows people that may not have friends or family that are on a higher frequency or higher financials they still listen in.
Yeah.
So even though I believe in getting in the room, and the room doesn't always have to be physical, it can be virtual. So I'm in the room watching you on YouTube. So I appreciate you putting this out here like that.
Absolute King. I appreciate you, man.
So my name is Derek Boone. Pretty much everybody, since I was a kid, everybody called me Boone. And 28, born and raised in Philadelphia. And my story, how I started out, was kind of like by accident and on purpose at the same time. So as you know, I graduated high school in 2011, and you know the thing that they always say, go to college, like go to college, go to college. So not really knowing that I wanted to do that or what, it's just like that's what we gonna go ahead and do. So I went to college, Penn State, Abington, and I did everything I wasn't supposed to do. I legit did every single thing I wasn't supposed to do, and I had a .8 GPA. I actually posted on Instagram. People didn't believe me.
0.8.
0.8, like that means you got all Fs and then you got 1 D.
Wow.
Like, so I was up there, and it's not even that I was even trying. I was literally only going to class on the finals. It was a whole bad situation. So, and it's funny because when I was up at school, I was like I won't say cool guy, but I was the guy everyone wanted to hang out with, you know, to an extent.
Yeah.
When it got time to be serious, I was the joke. Now it's funny that every person that I hung out with in college today, I either helped them make money, I either helped them get into real estate, I helped them buy houses, or they're like blowing me up. So it's funny how, for people that's watching, it's funny how things can change. Underdog can go to big dog really fast.
Yeah.
And I just want people to understand, like, your things can change. Yeah. But then also, like, they kicked me out of college. They literally had this conversation with the dean, and he said, look, your academics is just not fitting what we looking for. He said it in the nicest way, but basically you gotta go.
Right.
You gotta go. And then the bad part about it is that pissed me off was because my grades wasn't good, the fast for the financial aid for that last year, they said, yeah, we took our money back and you owe us all that money back now because you wasted it.
Wow.
So I kind of started out in the rear right out the gate. So then I worked at this retirement home. I was making $10 an hour, and that kind of opened me up a little bit for two reasons. One, it was a really, really wealthy retirement home. They had the minimum deposit was $500,000 to move in.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody in there was millionaires. Whether they made millions of dollars or they saved their way, and then they just put all their money, their retirement fund, and they went ahead and live a nice life the remaining years. But also, I had this crazy moment because I worked in dietary, so I had to just serve the elderly. And they had 3 shifts. They had the day shift, the 7 to 3, and then they had the shift 4 to 9 where you could do dishwashing. So I would work, and then I would stay and do dishwashing. Then in the wintertime, they would have an overnight shift when it snowed. I remember this like it was yesterday. I did all 3 shifts for like a week straight. At the end of the 2 weeks, my manager was like, yo, your check looks just like mine. I'm like, yeah, I had $1,500. My check after that 2 weeks, after all that overtime, was $1,500. She said, your check looks like mine. I said, but you ain't stay here like I did. I lived here, you was here, you left at 3, I stayed here till 3 in the morning. And that was like an eye-opener for me. And I was like, you know what, this can't work, I can't do it. So I tried to figure things out. And this is why I love real estate, because it's not biased. It doesn't matter if you went to college, not went to college. It doesn't matter if you was locked up or not locked up. It doesn't matter if you graduate high school or not graduate high school. It doesn't matter what your grades are, how much money. None of that stuff matters. It only matters if you just want to start, if you just want to try. So that was like my opportunity to get in. And I talked to so many individuals that, are in real estate or in business or doing whatever. They might have, graduated college. They might have already working at a 6-figure job and doing stuff like that. For me, I literally was like ground zero. So I went to a class. It's crazy because people don't believe in getting in the room. People don't believe in paying for information. I paid for a class. It wasn't a lot of money. It wasn't expensive, but that was my start. And the guy that was teaching the class, he said, it was in person. This was kind of like before all the Zoom stuff. And he said, you know what? Like, I was asking a lot of questions. He said, you sound like you know something. I said, I've been YouTubing, reading and stuff like that. And he said, no, I'm getting something from you. He said, I really think you should give this a try. Start getting into real estate. And I was like, yeah, I want to buy a house. He said, no, I think you should get into sales, like selling houses. I was like, nah, I'm not really like, I just want to stay to myself. I just want to buy my house and call it a day. He said, no, this is going to build up your money. So, I'm the person where you tell me something, I'm going to jump on it. I'm not trying to go back and forth, especially at that point. I didn't have anything, so it's nothing for me to lose. And I feel like a lot of people today, they scared to jump into something. But if you're starting from like this chair, you're starting from the bed, you're jumping like, what are you really worried about? It's not like where some people, like, let's say a Donald Trump or, You know, people start out with millions and millions of dollars. I got to be careful how I jump because I already got blessed with a lot of stuff. With me, with a lot of people, we starting at ground zero anyway. Why are we scared to jump? Well, we already at ground level anyway. So I gave it a shot. It was I got my real estate license. The schooling was 2 months. And after the 2 months, you graduate the school, but you still got to take a state and nationwide test. That test, man, I took it 9 times. I failed it back to back to back to back to back.
Wow.
Yeah,
9 times.
9 times.
Wow.
And the worst part about it, you got to pay $54 each time.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm already a couple $100 in,
Right.
not to mention paying the $600 for the school. And I'm like, yo, I got to make something happen.
Yeah.
So I got my, I finally passed it on the 10th time. And that was March 2017. March 2017. I sold my first house April 2018. By December, I had sold about 16, 17 houses. So it was just all about putting the work and putting the grind. That really put me in the game.
Yeah,
Like, really put me in the game.
Yeah, and so now, you know, you get into selling, you know, you're selling houses, you're seeing some good money, right? How what's that feeling like, you know, when you start seeing your first few checks from, from selling properties?
It's an eye opener because you like, and it's crazy because I was talking to Danielle about this. We have this thing to where we so used to working hard that when we get something, we're like, yo, y'all don't even dig what I used to do for this. Like, so for me, it was like, yo, like this is crazy. Like I was living at a job for $1,500 and I just got a check for $5,000, $10,000 plus dollars. Like this is crazy. And people. And I'll be talking to other people selling real estate, and they be like, "Oh man, this." I'm like, "You know what the heck I had to do?
Right.
What are you complaining about?"
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like, "Yo, this it's really a way."
Yeah.
And that's how it was for me.
And so, $5 million later, man, how did you amass a real estate portfolio that's worth over $5 million?
So it actually started from it was something in my heart to begin with, because remember, went to that class because I wanted to learn how to buy my own houses. But I didn't have the income, in which I'm glad that I'm able in a position to teach people how to do it the opposite of how I did it, and they can get in without having a lot of money. Because I was taught I needed money, so that's why I did the sales to build up my capital to go and buy. And it was crazy because there's one guy, his name is Malik in Philly. And he said, man, I just closed another deal. You know, not cocky because I'm like a humble guy. And I was like, I just closed another deal. He was like, man, why aren't you buying nothing? I'm like, what? He's just like, why aren't you buying anything? Like I owned the house already, but he's like, why aren't you like really buying? You closing deals, but why aren't you buying anything? I was like, I don't know. It kind of messed me up. So I said, you know what? I want to hone in and I want to start buying properties. And then 2018, I said 2017 we did the sales. 2018, that's when he had that conversation with me. And 2018 we did more sales. 2019 I said, you know what? I don't want to work as hard anymore because I want to start having more time to go ahead and buy real estate and stuff like that. So 2019, that's when I built out the team. And then that way I wasn't doing as many sales anymore. And I was focused on a model, which we can get into, is wholesaling. So I was doing more wholesaling in 2019, and I had a team that helped me out with all that stuff. And in between wholesaling, we started buying. 2020, we really started buying. 2021, we really started buying. In 2022, like we closed like 4 properties like over this last 30 days.
Wow.
So we just kind of turned it up. And then one of the best things that we do, and I believe in, our brothers preach this all the time, is proximity. So pretty honestly, besides like 1 or 2, all 5-6 million our portfolio is all in one neighborhood.
Wow.
So like my guys, we're working on 4 houses right now. They're literally, hey, we need some more 2x4. Oh, just walk to that house across the street we're working on. So all of them are blocks apart. Literally like spitting distance apart from each other.
And so talk to me about your real estate strategy, right? Because you mentioned wholesaling, and so I want you to break down, what wholesaling is, but then also talk to me about what your real estate strategy is.
So what wholesaling is pretty much the simplest way to put it is like middleman in properties. So if you know somebody, let's say Miss Johnson wants to sell a house for $20,000, right? And you know me, I buy houses, and you say, hey, look, Boone, I got this property for $30,000. You interested? I look at the details, and I'm like, you know what, bet, yeah, I like that. So what you'll do, you'll make $10,000 just for what's called a signing the contract. So you and Ms. Johnson sign a purchase contract saying you're going to buy it for $20,000, but it's a key word, purchase contract is assignable, and you really want to take it to the next level. Contract is assignable without written consent of the seller. That's it. That's what you really taking it to the next level and making sure everything is bulletproof. So now when they assign that, you can now take that contract and assign it to me. So like, I don't know if you were like a sneakerhead or anything. You know how when Jordans come out, they might give you a raffle ticket.
Right.
And the line is long. If you don't got a ticket, you can't get in line.
Yeah.
Look, bro, Jordans are $200. Look, listen, I'll give you $20 if you just let me take your spot. So it's the same thing. I'm giving you $10,000, $20,000 to take your spot in that contract, and then I'm purchasing that property. So it's a way with people with no money, no credit, they can make tens of, like, I have mentees making hundreds of thousands of dollars literally in a year, or one of my mentees, he made $100,000 in 6 months. He's like 22.
Wow.
And off of this method, no money, no credit, no nothing.
Why you work so hard? Cause I'm trying to get some money, punk. Man, why you keep calling these people? Cause I'm trying to get what I deserve.
If you haven't wrote down your goals, if you never envision it, it will never happen. So if you haven't wrote down your goals, you need to manifest that and speak it to existence, because the Bible says, speak those things that are not as though they are.
Everything that you've ever wanted, everything that you've ever desired, any dream, any aspiration, all of it is now going to take shape.
Knew the importance of keeping your job because your job is your first business partner.
Wall Street looks like us now. It's a battle cry. Wall Street looks like us now. It's the equalizer.
If you can start training your brain to start thinking about solutions to problems and challenges rather than letting them slow you down, you are going to dominate this life.
And when I learned that selling is not about convincing people to do something they don't want to do, selling is about empowering people and freeing people from their inhibitions so that they can do something they already desire to do.
I cried too much to settle. I prayed too long to settle. I fought through too much to settle. I didn't make it through COVID to settle. I'm ready to step into everything that God's got for me.
Wow. And so just for clarity, right, when you wholesaling properties, what's happening is that, there's a buyer, there's a seller, and then you are the middle person that connects the two together.
You're just connecting dots.
You're connecting the dots. And so, like, if the person wants to sell the home, they assign you a contract. So now you say, hey, I can get your house sold. How much do you want for this house?
Right.
They're gonna give you a price. You're going to then find somebody who wants to buy the house.
Right.
And then how do you get paid though? Like, how do you get paid?
So, and then one thing I want people to realize and understand, a lot of people are like, why would somebody pay me when they can just find themselves?
Yeah.
You're doing inside the vault. You want to get into real estate. You already in real estate. You like, I don't have time to go around and look for houses. So I don't mind paying you an extra $10,000 to go and find it for me, because at the end of the day, the house is still a discount.
Yeah.
So the whole point of my job is making sure the numbers make sense to where it makes sense for the seller, it makes sense for me, of course, and it's still cheap enough to where, like, yo, I'm buying something not online, nobody knows about it, and it's a discount.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. You can sit still here, do your thing, and now you can still buy houses without having to run around. So that's the whole concept. And that's why a lot of people say, why would I do that? Why would somebody pay me to do that? Because a lot of people don't have time.
Right.
Or they just don't feel like doing it.
Right.
So that's the whole concept with that.
Right. And then is it, do you have to have, because I know you said you took the real estate license 9 times. Do you have to have a real estate license in order to do it?
Nope.
And so, like, so what qualifications do you need to actually be able to do that?
And information. Strictly hustle. That's why I love real estate so much. Like, you don't need nothing. You can just get started. Now, if I want to help somebody buy their mansion in Buckhead, then obviously I need a license to represent them in doing that. But this strategy, buying and investing, you don't need any license. You don't need any certificates. You don't need any of those things. You just need hustle and information. That's it.
Wow. And so you have to have credit though. So that's the barrier. So in order to wholesale, you have to have a good credit. That's what it is.
You don't have to have no credit either.
Yeah.
I'm literally, all I'm doing is, so you got 2 pieces of paper, right?
Yeah.
You got an agreement to sell contract, which is a purchase contract.
Yeah.
And you have another contract called an assignment contract.
Yeah.
You are selling a house, right? And then my guy is buying a house. I'm gonna have you sign this one contract called a purchase contract, and then I'm gonna upsell the price and make him sign the other contract, which is called the assignment contract. There's no credit involved, no money involved, none of that stuff. And that's how you guys can go ahead and make money without needing credit, money, and any of those things. And this is how people get started. If you really, really, and I'll get into my strategy, but if you really listen to a lot of these big time real estate developers, like really that started from the bottom, this is how they got started. Because they didn't, like a lot of people don't have anybody, hey, here go $1 million to get started. Here go $2 million to get started. Here goes 500,000. So we got to figure out our own way. And this is like one of the easiest, it's still work, but this is one of the easiest barriers of entry to get into in real estate.
Yeah, no, I love that because I think that, you know, again, the wholesaling, like literally, removes all excuses, right?
Yeah, it's like,
Because you don't have to have a license, you don't have to have good credit. All like you said, all you have to have is grind and hustle. All you have to do is have some information, right? Find people who want to sell their homes, find people who want to buy the homes, bridge that gap. And so what is the, how do you find people who are selling their home?
right. So there's a couple of different ways, there's a couple of different strategies you can go after. Like one of the easiest strategies that you hear people say online is called driving for dollars. It's totally free. You literally get in your car and you drive around neighborhoods, driving for deals, dollars, and you're writing down every address, a house that may look busted up, distressed, may look like it need a little work, grass is high, mail is just coming out the mailbox like nobody been there. You look for those type of properties because those are the ones that have higher chances of someone wanting to sell them. Whereas though the brand new house, Christmas lights out, everything is brand spanking new, like nobody wants to sell it, and they do sell it, they want top dollar for it.
Premium,
so we're trying to get deeply discounted properties so you can ride around and look for stuff like that. Now that's how I got started. Like, so when I got started, I knocked on doors. I rent my car I buy houses on my car. I sent out both postcards. I did door hangers with my face on it, say, I'll buy your house. I did everything that you could think of. But now in 2022, and we've been doing this for a little while now, is we go strictly online and we use this system. It's called, and you can go to the website, it's called endlessprops.com, ENDLESS props. props.com, and there you can build your own list of properties. So you can specifically say, hey, look, listen, like in Philadelphia, area I invest in is 19132. I'll type that in the search box. All these properties in that zip code come up. And I can use as a filters tab where I can go ahead and say, look, listen, I only want to find houses that are over 1,000 square feet. Or I only want to find houses that have tenants. Or I only want to find houses that are 5 bedrooms, or I only want to find, you can really hone in, or maybe I only want to find vacant land and sell it to a developer, and that way you can do all this from home and it takes seconds. So now you can type in that criteria and you might get a list of 1,000 houses, 2,000 houses, maybe even 10,000 properties, and you could download that list. So that eliminates you from actually going outside, driving around, and actually also for a lot of people, while like real estate, you don't have to be a front face. Like a lot of these other businesses, you have to be the face. Instagram, you have to put things out there and like really promote. A lot of people are introverts. They don't want to, they want to be the behind the scenes millionaire. This is your opportunity to do so. You don't need a brand. You don't need, all this exposure. You can really do I know a lot of people that do a lot of deals and nobody don't know who they are at all. They just say, hey, Ash Cash buys houses or AC buys houses. They don't know who AC is, but they're getting the deal done. That's all that matters.
Right. Wow. And then so how do you, so now you find the house, you get somebody to sign it. How do you find the buyers?
Right. So, and I want to skip over one thing. Once we get that list, right, that list of properties of 1,000 or 500, whatever you make your list to, what we do is we go ahead and get the phone numbers. We extract the phone numbers from that list. And I'm going to just give everybody a website. The exact website that I use is called Batch Leads, BATCHLEADS. And we just go to that website. We literally just upload that list and they send us back the phone numbers.
Wow.
For like 10 cents, 15 cents per address. So if you got, so now they're sending you back the entire list with now you got the list and then the phone numbers attached to it.
Nice.
So you can go ahead and text every single homeowner, hey, Ash Cash, do you still own 123 Main Street?
Right.
You text back like, hey, who is this? Oh, well, my name is Derek. I'm a real estate investor. I actually own a property right around the corner from yours, and I saw it driving past. I was interested. Maybe you might be thinking about selling.
Right.
You know, you start that conversation. You could
Right.
text, or you could just straight cold call and get on the phone with them with the same kind of wordplay, the same kind of everything.
Yeah.
And that's strictly what we do now. We just strictly cold call, and then you can even take it to another level. Which, if you don't have the time, you can go ahead and hire a virtual assistant and do all the cold calling for you for like $4 an hour, $5 an hour.
Wow. So wait. So now you get the assignment. You get them to say yes. And then that process, right? Walk us through that process of now, sort of like, offloading the
Yeah.
properties.
So now I got you to say, you want to sell your property at 123 Main Street. We
Yeah.
negotiate this price, and let's say you want to sell it 50,000. I'm cool with that because I know I can resell it for 70. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is, and this is a major hack. This is how we kind of like took it to the next level with it. We literally just find other investors that are flipping in that area, that are buying in that area, and we just reverse engineer. So you know how. A lot of people invest, they flip houses.
Yeah.
You can tell a house that's a flipped house versus a house that's on the market versus a homeowner just wants to sell their house they live in. They want to downsize and upgrade.
Yeah.
House homeowner is just selling, their clothes maybe still in there, their furniture still in there. A flipped house is empty.
Right.
Floor is brand new.
Yeah.
The sink is nobody even pouring the water down there. Everything is brand new. So what we'll do is we'll go after those properties, right? And we'll just call that realtor and say, hey, what's going on? Congratulations on your sale. Congratulations on your listing. I was curious, is your seller an investor? Yeah, he is. Why? Oh, great, because I actually have a property 3 doors down or behind that I'm selling for a discount that they may be interested in buying and flipping and making $300,000 like they just did on this one.
Yeah.
And then also on top of that, because that's your contact, I don't want to get step on your toes. We'll make sure you get paid off in it as well. We'll give you $3-4 grand, $2 grand, but we're still making 15, 16. So who really cares?
Wow.
And now they're putting the whole deal together, and it makes it easier because we're just calling people that's already, their face is already out there.
Right.
There are other strategies to do it, but that's like the simplest because their phone number, the info is right there on the for sale sign.
Right. And I love that because, like you said, you're saving both parties actually.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Time and money. And then it allows whoever's doing the wholesaling to create cash flow for themselves.
Right.
To now take that cash flow and be able to invest it, in income producing assets so they can build their wealth. And then so what happens? How do you collect the money, right? So once it's time, you assign it. It's time to close. Are you coming to the closing and a check is written to you? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, or you just get a wire. So what we do is we take both of those contracts. So now I already had the contract with you, the seller.
Yeah.
And now I got the contract with Bob, the investor, the assignment contract. We take both of those pieces of paper and send them over to the title company, right? So they're mediating, they're looking up to make sure you are who you are, they are who they are. Make sure you don't have any back bills and things like that. And if that does happen, if you're about to get $50,000, you owe $1,000 back bill, back tax or something like that, now you're getting $49,000. So you don't have to worry about coming out of any extra money out of your pocket because it will come out of the sellers.
Yeah.
So now on 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, whatever the time frame is, they're gonna say, hey, we can come to closing. You're gonna get your check. I'm gonna get my check, and the keys and the deed is going over to them now. And it's as simple as that. And then honestly, because you're not signing anything, you don't have to come. What we do is we just send them our wire information. They wire us the money. So we're in the house on an interview, and the wire kits. Yep.
And then who's sending that money? The closing
The title
attorney
company.
or the
Yep.
title company.
Yep.
sending that
The
money?
closing attorney.
Wow. And then so like I love this strategy because again, as a young man, right? You said you have mentees, 22 years old, who really it's just about having
Running
the
up
will
a
to do
bag.
it, right? Like it's not even about like learning anything, right? You don't need a real estate agent or a real estate license. You don't need access. I mean, there's websites you gave us, but not real. You don't need that much access to anything, right? It's really just having the will. And so talk to me about your your real estate strategy.
So I believe in something called generational profit. So that means money going past you. We're making money now, but how can we keep it going on?
Yeah.
Well, I had this moment, right? And this was in end of 2019. and I had about $70,000 worth of deals about to hit me, and they all got terminated. Came back that you owed all this money in child support back tax, so we couldn't do the deal anymore.
Wow.
Somebody just said they didn't want to buy the house anymore. Just things happen. I'm not here to paint a perfect picture like everything goes smooth.
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, I gotta grind from ground zero again next month all over again. I was gonna do it anyway, but now I gotta double do it because I gotta make up for last month.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, yo, I gotta figure out a way to kind of make this, I don't have to stress as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is having rental properties, tenants paying you, whereas though at bare minimum, your rent, your car, your utility, all that stuff is paid.
100%.
All this deals is just extra.
Yeah.
Because all our bills are paid.
Yeah.
So what I did was take that wholesaling strategy and just say, you know what? Why give it to Bob? I just buy it for myself.
Ooh.
So now what we go ahead and do is we have our team on a Slack channel, right? And they're literally just sending us deals all day long. And if the ones that we like that come in that area, like I said, 19132 zip code, 19140 zip code, 19121 zip code that I like, if something pops up there and it's an apartment building, like multiple family house, I'm on it.
Wow.
So now it's like, hey, don't pass that out. I'm buying that from us. And then now everybody still eats, and I'm going ahead and buy it directly from me. And then we go ahead and take it to them. That's how we built our $5-6 million portfolio, which we had a couple other closes coming up over the next 2 weeks. So that's going to be different in the next 30 days. And it all came from all off market. Like I bought a house off of a realtor one time.
Wow.
Everything is strictly, I called the seller directly. We went directly to their face.
Yeah.
And I'm getting them so cheap.
Right.
Because I'm directly the source.
Right. And so let me get this straight, right? So the way somebody and I love if I paint this picture the right way, the way somebody could build wealth in real estate without money, without having to have good credit, without having a real estate license, is to wholesale, right? Is to be the middle person, to be able to acquire properties. And when you acquire those properties, you sell those to investors to make a large sum of money in a really fast time. You learn the methodology of how to find the right property, how to look for investors and sell those properties. You get paid, you stack your money up from getting paid. Now you repeat the same process, but instead of repeating the process in which you're finding another investor, you now become the investor. You become the connect and the plug and the source, all of that, all of the above.
The middleman makes the money now, the investor makes the money forever. And it got me, and that hit me one time where I was selling a lot of houses to investors, wholesaling a lot of houses to investors. I'm like, yo, they still own these, like, in an appreciation. These values are going up higher and higher and higher.
Right.
And people don't realize how real estate, you can get so rich and wealthy through real estate with no credentials is ridiculous. I have properties where I bought them for $30,000. We put maybe 60, 70 grand, so they're worth 100. At one point they were worth 180, right? 6 months later, they're worth 220.
Wow.
Just because somebody around the corner sold it for high.
Wow.
So, and then people don't understand that money is in that house. You can literally sell it, refinance, pull that money out, and then you got $100,000 sitting in your checking account, and you can still own the asset if you go ahead and do the refinance model, or you can flip it, and then you got that $100,000 in your pocket. So it's like an amazing savings account that's appreciating. That's why I focus on those neighborhoods. I like going to neighborhoods that have a lot of growth. You know what I mean? So whereas though I'm not too sure about Atlanta, but let's say Buckhead, I'm not too sure, but it might already be at the top. Whereas though we go at neighborhoods where it's like already 30% there, so it's a lot of 70% worth of growth.
Right.
So like we have properties we bought for 200, they're worth 500,000 now.
Wow.
But we might only did 30,000 worth of work. Because there's a lot of growth.
And that's the one thing I want to help people understand. Like when you think about wholesaling, the deal only makes sense if there is room in there for it to make sense, right? And so because you got to make both people happy.
You got to make everybody happy.
Right? And so when you think about wholesaling a deal, the person who's selling it they have a number and you want to be able to meet that number.
Mm-hmm.
The person who's buying it also has a number, right? Because if they're gonna buy it and then want to make money from it, there has to be enough room in the equity after they fix it up in
Yep.
order for them to make their money. And then the spread, right? The difference of that has to be enough for it to
For
be
you to make
worth
sense.
your while,
Yep.
right? And then from that vantage point, to be honest, right? Once you do that, whoever's the investor, whether you're the middle person and you invest it for yourself, or the middle person invest or sell it to somebody, you know that house, once it gets fixed up, if you do the proper due diligence and it's fixed up in the right neighborhood, not only will the house appreciate based on how much money you put in to fix it, there's also that appreciation, from the value of the home
Yep.
that you could get, right? And so knowing all this, right? Knowing all this, you started a mentorship program,
Yep.
right? But not everybody could get into your mentorship,
No,
right?
no.
Why is that?
Because I'm kind of like the opposite of a lot of, influencers. A lot of people you see online, selling programs and stuff like that. Whereas more of like, I just want to serve as many people as possible, which that's what I want to do,
Yeah.
but to the capacity that we can do it. Because I'm actually talking to you. I'm actually, a lot of my mentees have my phone number. I'm actually doing deals. I've done deals with a lot of my mentees. I bought properties with a lot of my mentees. I have sold properties to a lot of my mentees. So like, we're finding a lot of properties off market. Hey, you're my mentee. Look, listen, I got something. I'm gonna just pass it over to you. Look, you can just have it. Look, just give me an extra $2,000. You can. This is you. I want you to win off of that. So, being as though I'm able to make sure every single one of the mentees are fulfilled, I can't bring on 10 million people involved because I'm involved.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, look, listen, watch this video. You're good forever. No,
Yeah.
like, we're involved. I'm the one texting you. I'm the one making sure you're good to go. I'm making sure you're eating. I feel like that's one of the reasons why a lot of my mentees have so much success, because I'm like, did you do that?
Right.
Did you do that?
Right.
You said you wanted to buy a duplex. I got one right here. What's going on? And I just want to help you get $100,000 in credit.
Yeah.
What's going on? What are you gonna do?
Right. So it's that level of accountability that you get. And you said something earlier though, about like frequency, like being in the room and proximity and being in the right frequency. And as a mentor, it's also important that your mentees are vibrating on a certain frequency as well, in order for your program to be effective, in order for your program to thrive and get to the next level. And people who are in your program, feel good and they feel like they're getting something out of it. And so, what's your viewpoint on that, right? Like, you have mentees. What's your viewpoint on mentorship?
Basically being pretty much 2 words: collapsing time. Mentorship is collapsing time. Let me ask you a question. I heard Myron say this one time. And it's not a trick question, is $1 million a lot of money?
Yeah.
It's a nice amount of money. But is it a lot of money if it takes you 10 years to do it? Not really. But if it's a lot of money if it takes you a year to do it?
Yeah,
It's a lot of money if it takes you 30 days.
Yeah.
So for me, mentorship is collapsing time. It's like a cheat code. It's like a fast pass if you go to Six Flags, Disney World and stuff like that. So I believe, me as a mentor, I have to help people collapse time. I have a lot of people that say, one of our programs is called the 3 properties in 1 year program. So how you can buy 3 properties in 1 year. And I've had this conversation with people and they're like, 3 in 1 year? I was thinking like a 10-year span. Like, no, let's cut that down. Let me help you collapse the time. Let me ask you something. If you was able to buy 3 properties in 1 year, would that be life-changing to you? If you was able to make, $1,000 to $15,000 renting each one of them out, or would make $40,000 from each one of them, that's 4, 8, 12.
Yeah.
Well, for people like me that don't have a corporate background, don't have a college degree, don't have a lot of these things, I was never going to make $120,000 in a year anyway.
Right.
So now it's like, wait, you show me how to do this from behind the scenes without needing a whole bunch of credentials. And also, I teach the credit model where I'm helping people get large lines of credit, so now they can go ahead and buy these houses with no money out of pocket by leveraging that.
Yeah. And so, have you ever been in a position where you have bought a real estate property without even seeing it?
Yeah, yeah. So our model is, and you know, it's so many different models out there. That's why I love it, because you know, your model may be different from mine, but we're still making money.
Yeah.
I believe in the full guts. We do lipsticks where we just repaint and stuff, and then also full guts. So a lot of properties I don't look at it because I'm ripping it out anyway.
Yeah.
What's the point of me looking at the kitchen if it's going in the trash
Right,
regardless?
right.
So I look at the square footage.
Yeah.
I look at one thing is called the zoning. Is it legally, can it be a duplex, a triplex, a 4-unit?
Yeah.
And and I look at the block, and I'm always buying in the same area. So I know the block like the back of my hand. I know the neighbors. I know what's going on. And so there's no reason for me to look at it because it's all getting ripped out anyway.
And then what qualifies, you know, like you got your block, right? How did you choose that block, and how do you help your mentees, find that the block? What are the criteria to know if this is a good space to buy investment property in?
So one thing, it's a couple different things, right? So first and foremost, look in an area where it's a couple different ways you can look at it. Like if you got long money, you can buy in an area that's dead right now, and you're like 10 years later, it's gonna be something. Everybody don't have that type of money to sit, and I'm gonna just sit for 10 years.
Right.
So what I teach is buy in an area. If you're doing a flip, like you're trying to make money now, you have to buy in something that's promising now. But if you're thinking like a buy and hold, you wanna make rental income.
Yeah.
Buy in an area where it is a lot of stuff going on now around it, but it's not done yet. So now, exactly. So if I buy a house, let's say it's 50,000 now, we put 50 into it, and it's worth 100, right? But now, because so many other houses are still getting fixed up at the same time, that 100 turns into 150, turns into 200, turns into 250 by default. Like I have properties where, it was worth 200,000, and then I just go ahead and get a reappraised 3 months later, it's worth 250 now, just because you went ahead and bought a house and you paid, a nice amount of money for it. So by default, I just increase value, I just increase equity, I just increase money off just because you buying my neighbor now.
Wow. And so look, Derek Boone was able to, amass, right, a portfolio that's multi-million before the age of 30. When you look at what's next, what are some of like your long-term sort of like goals and things that you're looking to aspire to do?
So one of my goals is to have 1,000 units minimum.
Wow.
So 1,000 apartments minimum. That's one of my goals. And pretty much just having that time. Like right now, I have a lot of time. Pretty much my day is over at 12, 1 o'clock every single day. And I like that because I have a son now. He's 1 year old, and I'm just thinking long term. Okay, when it's time for basketball practice, when it's time for football practice, when it's time for drum classes, when it's time whatever, I want to be there 100%.
Yeah.
So it's like for me, it's just long-term goals is having that 100% freedom. Like if I want to take 6 months off, we're taking 6 months off, so that way I can be a basketball coach if I wanted to. If I want to do that, and I know if for some people it might sound corny, but for me it's like that's decent. Being able to pick and choose what you want to do, where you want to go, and how you want to do it, and having a business where it doesn't require you to be so much active because you do something right one time.
Yeah.
Like a book.
Yeah.
I make this one time and it's gonna sell, forever.
Yeah.
I fix this property at one time and it's gonna go forever. We do it right the first time.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we may have issues in the long run, but those issues only gonna be but so much because we did it right the first time.
Yeah.
So that's what I like. Where I have tenants where I haven't heard from them in a long time because we did the property right the first time.
Yeah. And I love that because, me personally, even having that transition from corporate into entrepreneurship, there was a time where I was like, man, I just created a job for myself. But when I was introduced to real estate, it was like a game changer, right? Because that cash flow, like regardless, like I've never seen rent go down.
Nah.
I don't care what's happening with right? I don't care what's happening with the economy. I've never seen, rent go down. Rent has like even during a recession, rent is still going up. And so when we think about, ways to build wealth or ways to sustain wealth and create cash flow, real estate is one of those plays that allows you to do that, right? Allow you to have that freedom, allow you to have that space where you're participating in an industry that is never going anywhere, right? And so that behind the scene we were talking about your passion for real estate, right? And this there's a million ways to make money, right? 6 million ways to make money, right?
7 billion.
Right? And you love real estate. Why real estate? Why do you have such a passion for real estate?
I have a passion for real estate because this is what got me started.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking about, like, we can make other moves, which we got other plays going on, makes money, but, don't go away from the basics.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And also, it is something that, at the end of the day, they're not making any more land.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the passion is something that is going to outweigh a lot, pretty much anything. If you think about it, their land, at the end of the day, whether you in the metaverse or not, you still have to have a roof over your head.
Right.
So
right.
this
Even
is
in the
going to,
metaverse.
this is where you got the goggles, you got to be somewhere for the, you know what I mean?
saying,
So at the end of the day, this is something that's going to outweigh everything. So that's why I love it. And like I said, I love practicing what I preach. I'm telling people like, yo, you can get started now. I think one of the biggest problems that we have, if we can overcome this, it's like a light switch.
Yeah.
Belief is a light switch. If you can, if I tell you, go inside that vault and this $1 million right there, you can just take it and you can walk out of there.
Yeah.
But if you don't believe that you can do it, it's never gonna happen.
Right, 100%.
So I feel like it's the belief factor, and I like teaching real estate because the only thing you have to do is just believe. Like, believe that you can buy a house, believe that you can wholesale a deal, believe that you can make money, and everything else after that is simple because real estate is a numbers game.
Yeah.
You call this many people, text this many people, you get this many deals out of it.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, not common sense. The same process. We're gonna demo a house out. We're gonna hit and make sure the structure is right. We're gonna frame the house out. We're gonna do plumbing. It's the same steps.
Yeah.
So it's an easy concept for people to learn, and that's why I love it, especially when we get houses for free. So, we make sure that people learn how to do the free house model, which is we find a house for X amount of dollars, right? And when you really want to take it to the next level, we tap into things like business credit. So, for example,
Yeah.
So, for example, let's run a real scenario, right? Let's say, for example, you found this house that let's use similar numbers. You found this house for $30,000. Somebody wants to sell this house for $30,000, right?
Yeah.
And it needs $70,000 worth of work. It's 30. It's messed up.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, it's worth $250, right? So it's a nice piece.
Nice spread.
But you like, look, I don't have the 30, I don't have the 70. Well, what you can do is you can tap into something called lenders. You got traditional lending, like Wells Fargo Bank, and then you got hard money lending, which is pretty much a smaller company that lends money to people, but for a higher rate. Banks might say 4 or 5%. Well, hard money lender wants like 9, 10, 11%.
Yeah.
Right? And then you got private money, which is, let's say you like, listen, I just want to help you out. Not help you out, but I want to invest in you.
Yeah.
I'll lend you the $100,000. You give me a return back. It's just strictly between us.
Yeah.
So I like tapping into that middle model. Whereas though I'm getting maybe 8, 9, 10% interest rate, but I'm in these houses for 90 days. So I'm not really paying that much interest because we're buying and we're fixing up fast and then we reselling them, refinancing out of them. So typically how that hard money model works is somebody's willing to give you a percentage of the purchase price and they'll cover all the construction. So let's say if your property that you're buying is $30,000, right? And they say, hey, look, you just need to come up with 15%. Times 15%, that's $4,500.
Wow.
Or even if you buy a house for $100,000, that's $15,000.
Right.
Well, that's your down payment.
Right.
And, you got other little fees and stuff, but that's the money out of pocket. They're going to finance everything else. Well, what if we went ahead and tapped into business credit, tapped into credit, and now we just took the money off of a credit card and paid that down payment?
Wow.
So now you're like no money out of pocket. Where and then just to share a good credit card, business credit card that doesn't require you to have true business credit. It doesn't require you to have an LLC that's been seized for 3 years. You can make this LLC today and do this tomorrow. It's called Alliance Credit Union.
Wow.
ALLIANCE. I told you I'm not the smart, but and they can literally give you $10,000-$20,000 like today.
Wow.
As long as you got like over a 670 credit score.
Yeah.
And you literally, helps so many. They owe me money, honestly. But people can get like 20, 30,000 a day, and you can use that to cover your down payments.
Wow.
And then now you like no money out of pocket, and now you flip the house, you pay everybody back off, but now you got maybe a 50 grand profit, 100 grand profit, you know, off of just some work. Just you just doing the work, you making a phone call, stuff like that. But that's why like financials, you can make that disappear if you're willing to get the information.
Yeah. And so like, being somebody in the game, you've been in the game, you're mentoring people now. What's the biggest mistake you would say that somebody just starting out wholesaling, make that they shouldn't make?
Oh man, the biggest mistake people make is settling too fast, being too anxious to get a deal. Hey, I'm talking to Ash Cash on the phone. He wants to sell his property. I really need it for 50, but he's not budging on 60. You know what? I'm gonna just do the contract for 60. If the numbers don't work, they don't work.
Right.
So don't allow you anxious to get a deal to where you sign a contract for something that you can't get sold. And I see that happen so many times where people just sign a contract just to, for the sake of having a contract signed, but then it never gets to the closing table because it was too high to begin with. So that's the biggest mistake I see people make. Just like, all right, you want 100, I'll sign it. Just sign it. I just want to feel good. Don't, like, just patient. Let's run the numbers. Let's negotiate. We have sellers that they call us back a month later, like, all right, we'll do the 50. Because if that didn't work for me, it's not gonna work for the next investor. So they'll come back around.
Right. No, I love it. And then so, at what age though? Because that's the thing, right? So like right now, again, and I keep harping on your ability to do it, and you're not even 30 yet, right? And I'm harping on that because, I don't watch the news purposefully because I believe that the news is a weapon. They weaponize, our emotions and things of that nature. But when I tap into people who do watch the news, the number one narrative I'm hearing is about young people, about how they are, all the negative things that they're associating with it, and it's just a breath of fresh air to see somebody young doing positive things, and even from a perspective of doing things that is creating generational wealth. At what age can someone start doing wholesaling, and what what advice would you have to a young person who is just starting out? Maybe they might feel like, man, nobody's gonna listen to me or whatever. You know what I mean? Like what words of wisdom do you have for any young person that wants to start, and at what age do you advise to start?
It's funny. So two things. One, I just spoke at a high school yesterday. In the high school, in the Strawberry Mansion High School, that's literally the neighborhood I invest in. And I was telling them like, yo, y'all can start now, like, and because there's no real age range on that. The only problem that you may have is like, you really gonna buy my house at 13?
Yeah.
But what people don't understand is there's different roles in real estate, whereas there's different roles in any business.
Yeah.
Well, what if you're the person that just finds the deals and then I'll be the front face to make the phone calls? We'll split the profits how we split it. So let's say, for example, I'm 28. The seller only wants to deal with somebody maybe a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
So look, listen, I'll find a deal. I'll get the phone. I'll get everything. But you're the person that goes on appointment. And then when the deal closes, we'll 60-40, 50-50, however you want to do. So you can get involved now. And I'm glad you said something about the news, because the news is really set up to reposition us out of a neighborhood that is a gold mine.
Right. 100%.
I'm telling you, we're not going to act like bad things don't happen in these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
But 100%, they're honing in on, for example, the neighborhood that I invest in. They're honing in on this shooting, robbery, this. And then when I talk to people, I have to move out into another neighborhood because, did you just hear about what happened on the news? Did you hear what happened on the news? Did you just hear what happened? So, miss, you're moving out of a neighborhood, but you don't even realize that they have permits and plans to build a new construction house in that vacant lot across the street from you.
Right.
Like, directly across the street from
Yeah.
you. But you're leaving out when everybody's coming in because you heard there was a shooting yesterday. You heard that you didn't even see. You heard that the news said this, I got to get out of here. So it's really positioning us out of a neighborhood that's already a gold mine. A lot of people don't even understand that their house is worth a lot more than it is.
Yeah.
But they just like, yo, like, what people do is they tie real life situations or possible situations or, you know, inflated situations with property value.
Yeah.
No, somebody shot somebody around the corner from this neighborhood, right? From this house. But you still have a 3,000 square feet, 5-bedroom house,
Facts.
3 stories.
Facts.
What do like
Right,
that's
right,
not bringing
right.
down your value.
Facts,
It may
facts.
make people may not want to buy as fast. Your house
Right.
may sit on the market longer, but your house still has the value
Right.
there.
100%.
So now people are bringing, you know, a situation because shootings happen everywhere.
Everywhere. Beverly Hills.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
So now you're allowing that value to bring down. You're allowing that incident that's already been inflated.
Yeah.
To bring down the value on your property. So now you're like, yo, just give me 20 grand. I gotta get out of here fast.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. And then you selling generational wealth. You're selling the, you know what I mean?
yo, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. So I want to take a quick pivot, right? You know, again, 28 years old, multimillionaire. Build it through real estate. If you could go back to 18-year-old Derek Boone, what advice are you giving young Boone at 18 years old?
That urge you have, you're not crazy.
Ooh.
Like, you know, I feel like everybody, and you could probably attest this, everybody got this thing like, I have to do something. I'm supposed to be doing something like, I don't know what it is, but like, just do something. So if that urge is taking you away from maybe college or maybe the traditional route, you're not crazy for going through that. So if I can go back in time, and I'm not saying don't go to college for, you know, people listening, but for me, if I can go back in time, I probably would have skipped that and got right into real estate or got right into that urge that I had. And also your skills and your talents that you have at 18 are multi-million-dollar talents. You just don't understand. Like when I was a kid, I shovel snow, cut grass, rake leaves. I've done everything. They don't even realize I had a whole landscaping company, but I'm like, I just want a quick 20 bucks, 30 bucks. That was a real, I had neighbors that were like, yo, I got you on contract. Whenever it comes, you the person that's going to win it. That's a landscaping company. But in my mind, I'm like, nah, I just, the talent you have now, the skill sets you're building up now, that is the foundation for what's about to happen.
Nah, I love it. I love it. Finish this phrase for me. I am.
Amazing.
I am amazing. I love it. When it's all said and done, I will be
a billionaire.
Ooh, love it. I want everyone who crosses my path to know.
Not that I want everybody across my path to know. I want everybody across my path to be inspired to do amazing things.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. And so as a, young multimillionaire, what would you say has been the most extravagant thing you've done with money?
I had retired my mom.
Nice.
So, like I said, we do a couple different things, and we had one of her things that she always wanted to do was an event space. She wanted to do an event space, and at that time, I was like, I don't really know, like somebody having a baby shower, hall, and stuff like that. And one of my mentors, Nehemiah, and it's funny because he had an event space, and I rented his event space Monday through Friday for my real estate business.
Oh, wow.
So I had my company running out of his event space.
Yeah.
So, because he only had events on like the weekends and stuff like that, maybe in the evenings, but 9 to 5, it was empty. So I rented that from him. And I saw I was going, I'm like, all right, maybe that thing, Mom, you was talking about, maybe that might actually be something. So I went ahead and used my methods that I was talking about, and I found her a building, actually 2 buildings, and then we got them, we gutted them out, renovated all of them, and then started having events, making, $5,000 and $10,000 and $15,000 a month, and that literally replaced her income. And then it's funny as crap. I said, yo, Mom, I haven't seen you go to work in like 2 weeks. Well, you all right? Everything cool? She said, I forgot to tell you I quit.
Wow.
And I was like, that was like,
wow.
That's
a blessing.
like, and that was 2 years ago. It was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I love it. And so what is the most impactful thing you've done with money?
The most impactful thing I've done with money. I would say putting together, so probably two things. The most impactful thing I've done with money is honestly utilizing it to not even flaunt or do things, but paying for my lifestyle and allowing me not to, stress as much. Indirectly put a lot of my little cousins and a lot of my family members in a position where I went, like one of my little cousins, like he's a monster, but he said like, yo, I seen you kind of how to move and how you managing money and how you doing things made me want to start. So me, operating how I'm operating with money has impacted so many people around me to like, I want to start now. A lot of people don't realize there are people starting only off the strength of you keep going. So
That's a
that,
fact.
so that's was like I would consider.
Yeah, greatness on display. Look, and so right now somebody's watching. One of our insiders are watching. They got a 9 to 5 that maybe they like, they don't like, whatever, but they have that itch to get into entrepreneurship or start a business, but they're unsure. They don't know which direction to go. What advice would you have for that side hustler?
I would say time management, like really, really time man. There's more than enough hours in a day, and I would just say figure out how to manage your time and work smarter, not harder. When I first got into real estate, that first year I was telling you about 2017, I worked at the retirement home from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Wow.
Had a 1 hour break around 1 o'clock from 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is when I was making calls. I was pre-typing text messages from 6 to 7 in the parking lot before I clocked in. So that way when you finally woke up, you saw my message. And I would send a message like, hey, I'm at the gym, I'm out here bar. Just call me back when you get free. And then now I would have those messages coming back. I'll reply back to them at 1. 3 o'clock, I changed my clothes. I'm going on property appointments from 4 till 9, 10 o'clock at night. That was a full 12 months straight. So I'm saying this all to say is, if you just manage your time and make sure every minute of the day is accounted for, you can build up a nice business. You can make at least 6 figures by doing that. I'm telling you from personal experience, I did it. And just managing your time wisely and just shooting your shot. That's the biggest thing. And getting mentorship. Those are 3.
No, I love that. I love that. All right, cool. So we're gonna do what's called our lightning round, right?
All right.
And in our lightning round, what we do is we take bank terms and we flip them for us here inside the vault. And so the first term we're gonna say is a deposit slip, right?
Okay.
A deposit slip is where you take a form, you fill it out, you're depositing money inside of a bank. But for us here inside the vault, a deposit slip is a slip up, a money mistake that you made, right? So what would you say is the biggest deposit slip, the biggest money mistake you've made in your journey so far?
Not hiring somebody early.
Ooh.
Like I used to do the calls, I used to do all this stuff. If I can go back in time, I would have hired an assistant or a cold caller early on. That would have saved me a lot of time, which is essentially would have made me way more money.
And so that's your process now. You put the teams together, and now the team is helping you scale your business faster.
Yeah, we actually, while we were about to start this interview, we just got a contract signed. I don't know what's going on. I'm not there. We're here. That's back in Philly. And I showed you our Slack channel. That's conversations just going on. So if I can go back in time, I was just stopped being cheap and did that early on. Man, oh my God. Like
more because you're killing it now.
It would have been a whole nother level.
Yeah,
a whole nother level.
100%. Term number 2, a charge off, right? Charge off, you borrow money from the bank. You don't pay the money back. The bank is trying to get it, but eventually the bank is like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna charge this
we
debt
all
off,
know about
right?
that.
You know what I mean? Right.
Y'all know about that.
But here inside the vault, a charge off is what type of people or mindsets did you have to charge off while you were on your journey?
A couple people, but what's funny? And I challenge everybody to do this. Let people know what you're trying to do and what business you want to go on and what you're trying to start, and start distance yourself a little bit. Man, I got some great friends that I realized going through my journey. And I had one of my friends, they hang out a lot, right? And there's no hard feelings. They work their job and they want to hang out after they, happy hour or whatever. And I said, bro, y'all been going out last couple weekends. Y'all didn't call me. Like, what's up? And you instantly thinking there's something negative. And they said, no, I know you do your real estate stuff on the weekends. I didn't even want to tempt you and invite you somewhere and make you feel like you had to make a decision. When I tell you, like, that was deep for me. So sometimes you distance yourself from people, and at that same light, you find out who's really for you. So I distanced myself from a lot of people, especially during that first year.
Yeah.
But in that same light, I found out who my real friends are.
Yeah.
And I know we always talk about some like in entrepreneurship and building up. You want to get into these 6, 7, 8, 9-figure rooms and forget about all the other people.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
Like my friends are my friends. Now we're gonna hang out every day.
Yeah.
Obviously not because we're doing a whole lot of things, but like I respect a lot of people because of that conversation I just said we had, and they still can come over my house. I'm still shooting them, bro. What's your credit score?
Right.
Yo, what's this?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should buy a house.
Yeah.
Do we talk every day? No, but they're not charged off. They're just distance.
Yeah, no, I love that. All right, last but not least, ATM, right? ATM is, you put the card in, automated teller machine, you asking for the money back, and, the ATM is giving you some money. I mean, you dropped a lot of wisdom on us, you know what I'm saying? You really are helping, people realize that they could do, and have anything that they put their mind to. So for us, ATM is another teachable moment, right? I want you to look in the camera. There's somebody right now that needs some inspiration, some motivation, some, something to kind of, push them to that next level. Give them another teachable moment that's going to help, take their life to that next level.
It is simple as this. You are more than enough. I want you to really, really, truly understand that you are more than enough to start exactly where you are. I don't care if you got an 800 credit score or 500 credit score. You are more than enough. I don't care if you got $5 or $5 million in account. You are more than enough. I just want you to hit that switch, that light switch to belief, because the second you believe, all the other opportunities are going to come right behind it. So I just want you, that's the biggest teachable moment, ATM, I want to say, is just have that, switch that belief switch on, and I promise you, life is going to be 100% different. The next day, opportunities are right in front of you. It's just that you got your switch off, so you're in the dark. As soon as you cut it back on, that belief, the lights on, you're going to be like, oh, this is here, this is here, this is here.
Yep, Derek Boone.
God.
Yo, I appreciate you,
I
King.
appreciate
Thank you
you,
so
man.
much. For blessing us, for really, again, being an inspiration. I know our insiders, have been blessed and will be blessed. And, I know you have a program and you wanted to kind of bless some of our insiders as well. So talk to us about your program.
You know what's crazy, right? I have I have 2 programs, right? So I know we talk about I do have 2 different models, and I blend the models for myself.
Yeah.
The wholesaler model, showing people how to make at least $10,000 a month, no money, no credit, no nothing, with way less than $1,000 out of pocket.
Yeah.
And then we have our other program showing you how to buy 3 properties in 1 year, utilizing different financing methods. And each program is $2,000 a piece. And when I came in, I said, you know what? I feel disrespectful by not coming on and not providing someone with a discount or things like that. So what we originally were going to do was get both programs, which is $2,000 and $2,000, $4,000, and do it for $1,000. Here, we're actually going to do it for $500. We're going to take another $500 off. I actually text my assistant, while we first were starting. I said, you know what? I like your energy. Honestly, it was from your energy.
Appreciate you.
And also, we have I call our 100K in credit program, where it shows you that funded, I don't know, like over $1 million worth of people. We're going to add that to it as well. So you're going to get literally the Boone inside the vault bundle. So everything for only $500.
Dope.
So if you guys want to tap in that, I text them and told them make it real fast before this is dropped. BooneInsideTheVault.com, and you guys gonna get access to that. And then also, if you guys have any questions, you can text 267-282-0464, and then we can send you the link to as well.
All right. Bro, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for, again, blessing the platform, for really just giving us inspiration, because just your mere presence, honestly, is really gonna bless so many people, because I'm telling you, I hear over and over again, people wanting that, asking questions, and people wanting to know, how do we reach young people? But you are a walking demonstration of how, don't miss me with, our young people are lost. I'm sitting in front of a under 30 multimillionaire who got kicked out of college. You know what I'm saying? And so no excuses, y'all. I need y'all to tap in. I also need y'all to share this video. And so I'm emphasizing on the young, but I'm not saying this is for young people. I'm emphasizing on it because I'm saying whatever your excuse is, right? Whatever you think is holding you back, it's a lie. Right? You could be 70 and you could run this play, right? And so make sure that you're tapping in. You said something earlier about belief system, right? make sure you tap into that belief system and know that you could be, have, or do anything that you put your mind to. Yo, somebody want to tap in and follow you on social media, where can they find you?
You can go to Instagram, DSBOONE, and I'm active on Instagram, active on social media. You DM me, I'm replying back, so that's how you can best. And funny thing you said, I have mentees that are double my age. So it's not just young people, it's whoever just wants to go ahead and make some money.
Yeah. Tap in, y'all. I'm telling y'all. All right, y'all. We are closing out the vault. Another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. Make sure you visit our website, InsideTheVaultShow.com. You can subscribe. You could, download. You could rate. You could review. Yo, make sure you make us the #1 podcast on the planet, because we are shifting minds. We are helping people get to that next level of life. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Inside the Vault. Me, I am Ash Cash. Make sure you visit me, IamAshCash.com. Become my friend on all social media platforms. I'm active. I respond at I am Ash Cash. Y'all, I'm going to see you next time. Same place, in God's will. All right, y'all. Peace.
Oh yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.